for
explode everything. There you go. Good. Fire everywhere and flying
Lots of
over
fire.
the crowd.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time in the channel, hit subscribe right now.
Ville and Tomi of Satan's Fall, thank you so much for your time today. We know that Tomi is already drinking with friends. It's a Friday night. He's ready to start the party. So we'll keep this on point. Is it just time? Cause for celebration. The album, as we're talking, is out. Usually I speak to a band before the release. Now I get to speak to you right after the release, and we saw some good reviews. People are liking it. They're just getting good traction. Are you guys a lot more relaxed right now, or if we spoke a month ago, would you be much more nervous? Like, what's going through your mind right now?
Yeah, I think it's more relaxed now because the album is out, and it's waiting is always annoying thing. But of course, it's good that we have those reviews in advance, that we notice that there's people liking the album already. But now we got the response from the audience rather than the journalist or whatever. So the feedback is in both from the both parties, the listeners and the journalists. So great, it's great. Yeah.
Good. It's a good way to be in a position before you start going on crazy schedules and having to promote this album. Now I'm gonna say that I'm a little bit surprised because neither of you are wearing sunglasses, and in your video it doesn't matter that you're playing in a dark hangar already. You're still wearing sunglasses. There we go. Thank you, Tomi. He's prepared. There we go. You guys bring high octane, old school inspired heavy metal, like we see some other bands in the Nordics do, like Ambush and Enforcer and what have you. But stereotypically, people expect a Finnish band to be all dark, moody, melancholic. You guys bring color, you bring energy. Is there, when you're writing an album, is that like the one rule that you have for yourself, that there has to be a ton of energy, or are there any limitations on the sound?
I think there's not limitation to the sound, but I think the energy and melodic side of things is our thing. That's we are trying to push forward. So
yeah. Ville, what do you find, like Tomi and you are obviously an important combo in the band? You have to bring that melody, you have to bring those harmonies together. How well attuned to each other are you by now? Like do you guys find each other almost blindly, or what's that partnership, if you will, within the band?
Tough question.
Yeah, really tough question. But about being all dark and about that, because I think the stuff that we do is kind of dark. I mean, we don't have happy power metal melodies or anything like that. So it's mostly dark, and also the subject matter of the lyrics is quite dark. It's not party music.
For sure. But that's interesting that you say that, though, because, and I've asked this question to other bands. You say we talk about some serious and darker themes here, where they're not party songs, but it is music you can party to. And when you play your music live, you'll see people with a big smile on their face having fun at your show. So for you saying that, how weird is that then to see? Do you sometimes feel the need to go hey guys, are you listening to what we're saying? It's you don't be partying. You should be depressed right now.
Well, I think the live thing is should be a celebration of music.
Yeah.
Life is so dark anyway, so you have to go for the shows and see people happy and enjoy.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you cannot write serious lyrics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to break, and that's why you go to the concerts and have a good time.
Is it also? Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think that they close each other. You can be serious with the lyrics and play energetic and happy music.
is it also almost like a necessity in today's world that the gravitas, the depth of the themes need to be balanced out with some level of just joy and fun to keep it healthy?
Yeah, I haven't thought it, but you said pretty good that.
Ville, you say like, oh, we're not a happy power metal band like Halloween. There are some songs where I feel like there's a little bit of Halloween seeping in, like, Garden of Fire. I think it feels like, you guys were listening to old school Halloween and some High Spirits, for example, that we see here in North America. Swines for Slaughter, although that is definitely not a subject matter that Halloween or bands like Hammerfall would sing about necessarily, but there is that a little bit of that power metal, well, not power, I guess is the best way of saying it, but so some of those melodies and harmonies are in there a little bit, or am I just completely seeing ghosts here?
No, I'm a big power metal fan and all of that, and I like even the happier stuff, but
all those bands you mentioned, I love
what
them.
We're doing.
All those bands you mentioned, I love all those bands. So
Now, also with the quite distinct voice that you guys use and singing styles, you do have that option to be a little grittier than those bands, but you could easily play with them as well. So you guys could go on the road with a Toxic Holocaust, like a black and thrash band, as well as, if Ed Guy ever plays again, you could go with them as well. When you play for different audiences, when you support different kinds of bands or have different kinds of bands support you, do you see a different reaction from that crowd?
Yeah, I think the reaction is always like they like it. But we have played we have like played in death metal events and black metal events and heavy metal events, and so the reaction has been always like really good.
Now, there's a couple of things that have changed for the band. Obviously, we've got Arttu, and I might be mispronouncing his name. I do apologize if that's the case, but, it's drumming.
It's correct. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Now, it's not always the case that a brand new member in a band with the first album that they can have a bit of a stamp, if you will, of their influence. But this is, when I was listening to the album for the first time, it's like, it's a drum-heavy album. Like, the drums are clear in the mix, nothing's buried. So he definitely gets his time to shine on the new record. Was that, was that a bit of an intention? Like, hey, we really want to showcase the new lineup. What decided how the album was mixed?
When we did the first album, we didn't think that much when we started mixing it. It just came out as it did. But now we thought more about the sound before we started recording, like the guitars and how the drums should sound. Like when Arttu recorded the first take of the drums, the snare sound was really bad. So I thought that this is not gonna work. So we need a better snare, and then we got borrowed snare for the other take, and it was much better. Yeah, I had already in my mind how the drums should sound. So
yeah.
But Arttu is a great drummer. So I don't know. I think we never think like any showcase thing like you mentioned, but
we did discuss it that we definitely didn't want the drums to be buried or like have the guitars too loud. So drums need to be like
which is important because so often it turns out the other way, where guitarists are trying to show off the skill set, and it overpowers.
I think it's quite problematic nowadays. Anyway, like it seems like the mix has to be like really flat, that everything is like really on the same level. But I like when the like snare and the kick drum like hits harder than other stuff, and then you got the vocals, and the rest of the stuff can be there. Like But for me, vocals, snare, and bass drum, those can be like louder than other stuff.
It makes the album, gives that, that, and I know it's an overused term, but it gives it that live feeling, if you will, where it's kind of feels like
and it gives the extra punch, for the sound. Like when something like hits harder than other instruments, it's just you hear it and it caught your attention. Rather than being like flat, boring. But that seems to be like a standard nowadays, that every mix is like really flat, and I think it's quite boring.
Yeah, exactly. We'll come back to playing live in just a second, but we were joking earlier about you guys, in the music video, like wearing the sunglasses and what have you. But I do want to talk about eyes for a quick second, because eyes clearly are very important, because basically your mascot is this set of creepy eyes, looking down from the heavens on us, and you've been doing that since your first demo, if I'm not mistaken.
It's...
So what's the backstory there? What do the eyes represent?
I don't know, actually. It's a mystery for us too, and I think it's good that way. It's our mascot, but I think it's good that there's some sort of certain of mystery there.
Yeah. Awesome. Who came up with that idea or that concept?
It was the Anu who did the first demo cover and the EP and the first album and the 7-inch. Just draw it there, and then we noticed that this looks pretty good, that we could use this.
I'm sure we'll see a lot of glaring eyes on lots of merch when you guys go on the road and promote this album. It's cool how you guys have been engaging with your fans to see, like, hey, where do you want us to come play, and sharing your schedule with the fans. So while you guys are still building out a lot of things, and I know that you won't be able to share everything just yet, but now that the album is out, what can we, pun intended, keep our eyes open for and fingers crossed when it comes to playing these songs live?
Well, I don't know. We haven't thought that much yet. So we start building the tour for next year for Europe, but we haven't even talked what songs we are gonna play live and from the new album. So it's I don't know yet.
And Ville, what from the shows that have been announced, what are you looking forward to the most?
I like that we're going to play with Spiritus Mortis, because they are a great band, so that's cool for me.
Talking about other bands, and we talked about Arttu's drumming before. What song is it that's got the Maiden drum fill at the end, the Hallowed Be Thy Name nod? Is it Lead the Way? Yeah, it's Lead the Way. Lead the Way ends with with something very similar to Hallowed Be Thy Name's drum roll at the end.
It's total tribute.
For sure. And obviously a band that deserves tribute. As you can see, I'm a little bit of a fan myself. Who isn't? So knowing that Iron Maiden is one of the big influences for you guys, without a doubt.
I had to say biggest.
Biggest. There you go. Biggest. Yeah. So as a fan, because I know how I am, and my friends that are all Maiden fans. Fans can also be very critical. So are you a fan that stayed with Maiden throughout the journey, or do you stick to the old classics album? Like, what do you thought of the new Senjutsu album, for example?
Well, I myself find it a bit boring, but it was better than the Book of Souls.
Yeah. Okay.
But for me, it's like Brave New World was the last, like, really and it's one of the best there.
Oh, what an absolutely fantastic album!
Yeah.
For me, in their top 5 easily. Throughout their career. Yeah.
Dance of Death was really good, but after that, for me, it went a bit downhill.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was still, Senjutsu was much better than the Book of Souls, at least for me.
There you go. Ville, you share the same sympathies?
I like Matter of Life and Death a lot, and I think there's some quite good stuff on Final Frontier as well, but the latest two one a little bit hard to listen. 2 long songs and all that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, out of the 3 of us, you're wearing the Iron Maiden t-shirt, so I assume you're a big fan too. Yeah. Awesome. No, it's and always good shows, obviously, right? So is and that's where you guys also, I'm sure, take a lot of inspiration for. I know that obviously you're not going to put on the same show as Iron Maiden does right now for their Future Past tour, but if you're thinking ahead, like what would you like to do from a show perspective to bring these songs even more to life?
Have you seen Kiss?
I have.
Yeah. There's answer for you.
Explode everything. There you go. Yeah. Fire everywhere and flying
Lots of
over
fire.
the crowd.
Yeah.
Hey man, hey men, I should say. I want to thank you guys so much for your time and spending a little bit of time with me talking about the new album and your plans. Tomi, I'm gonna let you go back to your buddies and drink more, and Ville, I'm gonna let you do whatever you're doing and listen to some Iron Maiden.
Play guitar.
Exactly, play guitar.
Yeah.
Somebody has to stay focused. I get it. We have the party animal and the actual musician here.
So what are you doing?
Well, I'm still working, man. It's just a Friday afternoon. Day's not over on my end.
We can interview you with Ville.
There you go. Absolutely.
Let's see in like 2 hours or so.
How many drinks will you have had in 2 hours from now?
Many.
Good. That's the only right answer on a Friday evening. Awesome. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for taking your time. I really do appreciate it. I like not just the new music, but also a little bit of the style change and a little bit of the branding changes that we've seen with the new album.
Yeah.
Eyes through there, I'll keep my eyes open for announcements so that I can come to your show and grab a T-shirt with 2 eyes on the front. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and have a wonderful rest of the evening.
Yeah. Thank you.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.